We enjoyed our brief stay in Flagstaff Sunday night, and we'll definitely stay there again if we're in the area. But our Monday agenda was full, so we had to hit the road. And winter weather was on the way, so getting out of the high elevations before the worst of it was going to be part of our plan. First stop was Matador Coffee for breakfast and caffeine. I got my first bulletproof coffee and tried it unsweetened before the video, and she got a mocha. The coffee was a little pricey, but the food was very, very reasonable. Breakfast burrito comes with all that stuff. I got the breakfast sandwiches. It's more or less the same ingredients. Got my mocha spot. Could have had a bagel. And green chilies in there. I sweetened the bulletproof coffee, 2 Splendas and a 20 ounce. So it's good. It's not life-changing, but it's good. But they say it's more about the effect it has on, I don't know, focus or brain function or something. It's MCT, which is some version of coconut oil, and butter. She said what kind of butter, some special butter. And I got dark roast coffee. You can get light, medium, or dark, and it's pretty good. I've just about finished it. So I'm probably gonna have to get some more coffee later. I'm not gonna get another. This was $6 for the 12 ounce, and it's like another 90 cents to go to the. It's about a $7 coffee. So certainly not going to drink a bunch of those. One of the differences between the burrito and the breakfast sandwich I wasn't aware of is the burrito has hash browns in it. If that's your thing, I'm not big into putting potato in a burrito, but I did try hers, and it is very good. Again, she got sausage and I got bacon. The one thing I initially liked better was that she got salsa and sour cream with hers, but I am not complaining about my sandwich. My sandwich was very, very good. It was scrambled eggs, so you pretty much had to two-handed if you didn't want to lose the fillings. We're off to some more adventures today. Y'all be good. I had some ruins I wanted to see. The timing is not so great for it. We do have a snowstorm coming. Couldn't fit it in yesterday, and we'd be backtracking quite a bit to get there. So we're stopping by Elden Ruins, which is just right on the edge of Flagstaff. Oh, we're supposed to sign in. And looking for ruins to visit, I was shocked to find how many they are, and they're just all over the state. You've got places that are just basically foundations like this one. You've got some that some of the walls go up as much as 3 stories or more, as well as some cave dwellings. The one I wanted to see, the Wupatki, would have been another 45 minutes drive north, and then we would have had to come back down, so that wasn't happening. But that is the largest. This one was discovered, so to speak, by Harold Colton, who was the founder of the Museum of Northern Arizona in the 1920s. He called the people who had inhabited this the Sinagua people. And Sinagua was the name for the San Francisco Peaks, which is the mountain range just nearby. It's Spanish for no water or lacking water, because they were shocked to find that there were mountains that did not have continuous rivers running down off of them. We know quite a bit about the history of the Sinagua, where they came from, and it is believed that they are the ancestors of the Hopi and several other smaller tribes. Despite the fact that this is currently closer to Navajo land, the Hopi have a reservation that's east of Juba and north of Winslow. It's much smaller now. The Navajo moved down and pretty much dominated the area later. This was inhabited, they think, around 1100 and all the way up to about 1270. So we're talking, 800, 900 years old. Some of it may be older than that. And what you're looking at are the walls. Some of them, as they were when Europeans first discovered this area, a few of them have been rebuilt. And I did read that one section was rebuilt improperly. They do know that some of these, one of the larger ones was a community room. They've figured out, I guess, from what they found and analyzed, that some of it was food storage, and some of these were residences. This was a fairly large trading community that may or may not have been inhabited year-round. They think that a lot of the residents were there just part of the year, dependent on the weather. And you notice there's no doors here. There's actually one opening in one of these shots that they think was a doorway, and another that may have just been opened later. But there's a rendering online that you can find showing these buildings going up, and they actually entered through the roof and went down a wooden ladder. And I'm assuming that had more to do with just keeping a constant temperature and keeping out the elements. Part of this too, and there's, I don't know if I showed, yeah, there you go, one of those markers. The markers are numbered, and there's a brochure that tells you what each of those numbers represents. That is actually, the shape is that of an antelope sculpture or artifact that they found that at this site. And each of those numbers corresponds to something they know about the place. One of them was a trading post that was operated much, much more recently, I think right on up into, I'm trying to think, it was up into the 30s, I believe. Yeah, 1933. And then finally abandoned. So, yeah, still in existence or in use up until that point. They are now protected, a lot of these places. It's amazing to me that they're preserved and they're so old, being an East Coaster, that, Southeastern, we have very little rock to build things from. Plus, even in the Northeast where they did, you had settlers moving in and taking over and, inhabiting all of the useful land. So here in the desert, you had a lot of wide opening spaces and very few people. And, we talk about settling the West, but all of these people were there 1,000 or even 2,000, 3,000 years before Europeans ever got out that way. So it's eye-opening to me, and it was a fascinating place to visit. I do wish I could go somewhere that there was a guided tour and some really good interaction and some information. But we spent a few minutes there. It's right off of Highway 89. It's a 0.3 mile loop, as I said, right around the whole thing. And I walked around it 3 or 4 times and through the middle of it, and just outside of Flagstaff. But we planned to head on down to Sedona, so we didn't hang around too long there, and there were clouds moving in. Just a few minutes ago, there were mountains in the distance, and the storm's starting to roll in. So it got real hazy. You could barely see them, and by the time I started taking this video, they're gone. We're getting flurries now, heavy flurries, I guess. Not sure if we're going to see any real good snow, because we will be getting down out of the high altitudes soon. But hopefully we'll just barely start to catch some bad stuff just as we get out of it, so you get to enjoy the excitement of a little snow and still not end up creeping along at 20 miles an hour for hours on end. I don't know how well the camera catches it, but to me this looks like Star Wars or Star Trek when they're going at like hyper speed, warp speed, stars flying by, which is just totally unrealistic if you look at the speeds they are supposedly traveling. Look at these folks. Hey, it's snowing. Very cool. I wonder where they're from. Probably not here if they're that excited. We are on our way to find the Griswold family Christmas tree. What? Picking on me.
No. Allison needs to be here in the vehicle with you.
Why's that? So I just checked, we're at about 5,400 elevation. So we've dropped about 1,600, and we are just above the level of the winter storm advisory, which will be a winter storm warning tomorrow. That is for elevations above 5,000, so not really concerned about it. Actually a little disappointed that we didn't see a little bit more of it. Perhaps if we'd stopped again for another coffee. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Not sure what the, oh wow, look at that one. Not sure what the views from Sedona are gonna be. The pictures I've seen are great, but even if we don't get snow down in that area, the haze, we may miss a lot. Saw sign espresso, snacks, sandwiches up ahead. So this is the first anything we've seen since we took the exit. Temperature's up to 31 now. My guess is that we are getting close to 5,000 elevation. Maybe still a little above that. Houses and private pedestrian bridge. I want my own private pedestrian bridge like that. Except for I want mine to be a suspension or maybe cable stayed. There we go. There's a little bit of a view. Still not the one I was looking for. Gotta be quick out here. We are below 5,000 feet, temperature's 33 degrees. Across the bridge and that body of water I've been trying to get shots of, I found is Oak Creek. There is a state park there. Multiple inns, lodges, B&Bs. On the water, there's a trout fishing farm back there. Like a pretty big tourist destination. Lots of cool rock formations here. Everything's very, very red. Now that's a view. That is a view. Statue, I'm not sure what it is. Looks like it's hatching out of an egg, but it's got wings. I think it's in the front. Okay, it's kind of a Statue of Liberty typed winged out of an egg. I might have to Google that, or someone else can. Oh, here we go. Symbol of medicine. Okay, kind of cool. And if you need metal flowers, people come up with some stuff to sell, and other people buy it. Not saying I wouldn't if I had the money. I love these little, and I'm going to pull up to this to just show you. Little rock tree things, like geode-based. I don't know what they are. A couple places have them, and they're really cool. Another view of the surroundings. So my take on Sedona. It's a neat looking place. Some great views and some good places to stay. If you just want to get a place where you can walk out your balcony and see some mountains, some red rock formations. I also hear that there is terrific hiking, all sorts of views. There's a few museums, a few good restaurants, and tons of places to buy souvenirs. Artwork is really big here. Of course, the Native American thing is big. Got the obligatory beef jerky, the olive oil and balsamic infused stuff. We're just spending an hour here looking around. We did buy some honey. Sourwood honey was amazing. It's not cheap, but it is something really different. The gallery with some cool bear. Cloud was the guy's name that does the art, and they are backlit, and they are beautiful, beautiful paintings. We're stopping into his gallery. We're gonna get across the street and get out of here because our parking is about to expire. Given that we weren't looking to do a lot of shopping, we weren't looking for a place to eat, We didn't have time for a museum or time or good weather for hiking. I think the hour was just about right. And I'm not putting the place down. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. I do recommend driving through and even stopping and taking a look around the shops. But there wasn't much beyond that. I have been told by people familiar with the area that it was a better destination before everyone else found it. And it's just much more touristy now. But we're on our way to Jerome, and you can join us most of the way up the mountain. Old copper mine. That's what started this, and it kind of died out, and then I guess the artist came in and revived it. I can't see much of this. We're way, way up. City Inn.
That's interesting.
That's a big theme here. Somewhere up here, I think, is our restaurant. We have to do some hiking. Get there. Run goes Pepper Company. That looks interesting. Flour. So the town of Jerome has gone from being a copper mine to a gold mine. Parking. $5 to park.
For how long?
All day. Yeah, we got all day, but
Oh.
I guess we better just hang out here until it's dark, get our money's worth.
Okay.
So let's go hiking. Hotel, bar, and grill. There's lots of little restaurants and minerals, rocks. I bet you they've got chocolates here somewhere. Fudge. Oh yeah, there's fudge, jewelry. Hoping there's a slide to go back down so we don't have to walk down these steps. Oh, there's our destination. The Haunted Hamburger. Yes, it is haunted by all the ghosts of people who had heart attacks walking up these steps. I'm telling you, steps are one thing, but steps at over a mile high are another yet. Wicked City Saloon. Look at the view. I'm sure it's beautiful when it's not foggy, if it's ever not foggy. The road coming up here said it was open 365 days a year. So if you're ever here on February 29th, call first, make sure it's clear. A couple of skeletons chilling down here. There. Not sure what's up on the roof, it's so interesting. Sorry there's no smell on this video, but trust me, it smells like burgers. There's more steps if we decide we haven't had enough. There it is. Shelf up in the ceiling. That's kind of funny. Nice place. Oh my goodness, look at the view from here. The clouds have lifted some. You can see a little bit. And this is a copper mine, and this was a boarding house at one time. I'll show you the menu. And the flip side of your drinks here. Specials. Read fast. Okay, now you need to read really fast. This is where it tells you that it was a boarding house and private residence, and spooky things happened, and when they were converting it into a restaurant, hammers kept disappearing. So make up your mind, haunted or not. There's drinks. Oh, boozy milkshakes. Mine is the salted caramel. Very good. Very good. I would have gotten the chocolate devil if she'd got the copper miner, which is a salted caramel one. She's gonna make me drink something crappy. Let's see.
I got your artichokes in.
Oh my God, that's horrible. God, why do you do that to me? Oh. I'm gonna try some fried artichoke hearts. They were hand breaded in-house.
Do you guys want dessert at all? Take a ride?
Don't like anything fried. Very, very hot, especially inside. You see it now with the breading coming off. I'm burning my fingers. Now I'm gonna dip it in the aioli. Tasty. There's my Haunted Burger. Twice baked potato. She got the cheesesteak, chose the cheese sauce, not the mozzarella, and the jalapeno coleslaw. As always, I want to try the patty by itself. It's hard to get to. It's buried in there. Seasoned okay. A little bit of char. Definitely overdone. At least a medium well. Try to put it together and taste it. Probably not going to do a video because it's a lot. I'm going to need both hands for this. So my take on the food, the artichoke hearts were just absolutely amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed my milkshake. I didn't like hers just because I don't like Bailey. And I did try her jalapeno coleslaw, and it was just coleslaw. It was okay. And the twice baked potatoes were twice baked potatoes. I wouldn't recommend against getting this burger, but don't go out of your way for it. Here's something ridiculous that I might actually have to try. Let's see, specialties. Well, there's all sorts of specialty sodas. Oh, bazooka, I don't even know. Butterscotch root beer. It smells like butterscotch in here. I know you can't. Alien snot. Totally gross soda. That's tempting me too. Route 66. We're in a candy store. Those have gone up in price. Of course, you have the prickly pear stuff and hot stuff. Black Cow. Very Steely Dan. Cactus jelly. Pretty close to the price I paid. Mesquite honey. I have some samples of that. Stuff from around the world. Neither one of us likes candy corn rice crispy treat. So we continued our walk around Jerome. You can see the museum there in the distance, and there was the big Grand Hotel, and there it is. Yeah, and we hit several shops, some neat merchandise. I particularly was fond of the bismuth sculptures and the kaleidoscopes, which you'll see. They're trying to throw coins in the toilet, throwing money down the drain. I don't know who collects this or what the point is. If it's not for charity, then somebody's just a genius. And maybe we should steal this idea. Yeah, right in the tank. Nellie Bly. Bly, around the world with Nellie Bly. I guess maybe this is like international merchandise. Caught my eye. Check it out. So we've been all over Jerome. Since we paid for parking, it was the only option was all day, which is pretty genius, really. It's like, all right, I paid my $5. Let me look at everything in town and get my money's worth. And as soon as I look at one thing, I'm like, I'm done. And then something else catches my eye. I wanted to see the hotel because, of course, just like going to Punxsutawney, I see an old hotel. I go, is it abandoned? Is it for sale? Might I have a chance to live out my dream? That one is operating. They have a gift shop, a very crowded gift shop, so everybody's stopping there. We went by Nellie Bly, which, I'm a big fan. Yeah. And I wanted to see, why did they name this store that? And at first I thought maybe it was imported stuff from around the world. It's not. It's a neat store. I don't like the name. But lots of kaleidoscopes, very expensive. So we just got professional help. Yeah. I'm trying to spin this thing. And really, oh, you spin the whole bowl. Let me slow it down a little bit. This is what I'm turning. This right here. Okay, we're leaving. We're leaving Nellie Bly. We talked to the lady. I might have some of this on the video.
Nellie Bly. It's up there.
Kindred spirit in some ways, because I love Nellie Bly and her mother loved Nellie Bly. So anyway, we're talking about the kaleidoscopes. We're talking about our vacation, or all of our experiences, and of course, you're looking at. They had some little cheap toys, $6, $10 ones. They're just dumb. And then the cheapest of the really decent ones were $45. We saw those right at the entrance. But this lady was so awesome. And she asked, do we want to get our picture through a kaleidoscope? And I'm going, what is this really? So she takes it. I'm going to show you as soon as I get a chance here. But she takes this picture of us, and like, we're all over the image. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Can you see us? Can you see it? Yeah, you can see us in there. So our faces are all around this thing. And then she goes, you can actually put your phone up to this thing and do a slow motion video, so you can watch our heads like shrinking and moving around. And so yeah, I mean, she came so close to selling something that we can't afford. We're such suckers. We are, and you know me. I'm like the most like thrifty, rational person. But you get me on vacation, and it's bad. Yeah, so I guess this is like props and things. We went into one that was very dark, a lot of steampunk. A lot of like Nightmare Before Christmas looking things. Not something I haven't seen in other places. Mooey Christmas and Other Things. Okay, I guess it's a cow themed Christmas store possibly. I'm not going to take the time to figure it out. There you see the background setting for this town. And we are getting out of here. This here, supposedly, and you know how these claims are, oldest family-owned saloon in Arizona. Who knows? We're back to the place that I want to buy and make into something. I figure, yeah, that road's kind of hairy coming up. I know a lot of people wouldn't drive it, so I would put up like yes, Connie wouldn't. I'd maybe install like a car elevator or a car conveyor or something like that, and then to go back down there could be like a car zip line, and I think that would just be much better. You just don't tell people about the car zip line going there. You just say, hey, car elevator, it's all cool. Then you don't tell them that the car elevator is exposed to everything on the way up, so you terrify them on the way up, and then you go, oh, it's an extra charge to get back down, and you don't tell them how, and you just pull them into this thing, and then it's a zip line. Yeah, it'll be a blast. Okay, so our parking has not expired, but we are leaving anyway. Wonder if I could just bank my time. Like, I did not use 24 hours. I would like to save this for another time. Probably not. It's starting to get just a little bit of snow again. We are definitely above the 5,000 mark. Not significantly so. I would say no more than 5,500. It's getting later in the day, so more stuff rolling in. You see the clouds in the distance. We will, at some point, heading back downhill. We made a wrong turn, started going out the way that we started, and we apparently were not the only ones to do it because every one of the driveways said no turnaround. We ended up going to the state park, which is the old mining camp, so that we could turn around. That was also very scenic. No guardrails there. I can think of a lot of people that would have been fun to ride with, and some that I would have strangled. Should have taken a video just for my sister. and Connie. Yeah, there's a few of them that would have totally freaked at that. This is, again, not the worst road I've ever been on by far, and I don't have any idiots in front of me or maniacs behind me. And if you don't know the difference, an idiot is anyone who drives slower than me, and a maniac is anyone who drives faster. Here we go, crossing 6,000 again. Another one of these old abandoned zip lines. Need to get up to the top, climb the tower, and take a ride down. That just seems like it'd be a exciting experience. Given how long we've been climbing, I would say we're roughly half the height of Olympus Mons at this point, and still climbing. We're still climbing, still getting up there. A couple miles back, we passed a glowing city with 12 pearly gates. I think that's about 500 feet below us now. It's interesting. Wherever we go, we're either in the mountains or we see mountains, and quite often it's in every direction there are mountains. Out east, you kind of go from flat to hills to small mountains to big mountains, and then somewhat smaller mountains and hills again. It transitions. We have a few valleys, but nothing like this. These big, vast, open plains and just deserts, and I don't know. It's odd to me. It's different. The sun is just about set. Most of the color is gone now, but it has been like driving through one postcard after another, with a few stretches of just miles and miles of nothing in between. But that's pretty. I'm sure the color doesn't show on the camera as well as it does here. Granite Mountain Hot Shots, Memorial State Park. This is guys that jump in and fight fire. Sunrise to sunset. 2.5 miles up, or 2.5 mile trail, 200 steps up, I think. But it closes at sunset. Sun is setting, and I wouldn't mind going up just a little bit, but it's going to be really dark by the time I get up there, and don't want to come back down in the dark. These are the last pictures that I got before the sun completely set and it got dark. So I really don't have anything of Southern Arizona for Monday. I do have some stuff for later. And as I said, it really was like postcards or jigsaw puzzles, only real life. The surprise, the just not knowing what was next. It was an amazing ride, and I'm glad that I did it. I was just reading an estimate of how long a chain it would be to put all ants on Earth end to end. A lot of wild estimates, you know, a slight change in the average makes a big difference, but one of them said it would be 20 billion kilometers, every ant on Earth end to end, which is a little over 3 times the distance from the sun to Pluto, or about half the distance between intersections on Highway 60 in southern Arizona. They're really not having the camera, you didn't miss much. It was miles and miles of miles and miles, straight, flat. The only good side was if there was nobody in front of you, there were no police. But there was always somebody in front of you. Thanks again for joining us for our travel day. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if not, I hope you hang around as I learn and it gets better. If you do want to keep on with the journey, please ring the bell and subscribe, and give us some feedback so that we can improve what we're putting out there. And the rest of the video will be mostly our stay in Yuma, and then going up to Phoenix and heading home. So eat well and be well, and thanks again.